Thinking Fast and Slow in Football. Written by Qasim Farag. Dedication. To my dear father and dear mother, even if it is a meager attempt to thank them for the continuous sacrifices for me, I do not think that I will find words or actions that match what they have done for me, and therefore this work is the result of your great efforts. I truly thank you. Introduction. The study of the human mind has remained, and still is, one of the most difficult studies that scientific research has known throughout the ages. Even though these studies have witnessed great development in recent times in terms of directing the interest of scientific research to how the human mind works and determining its functions, the history of previous studies makes us not give full confidence to the results of the current studies, and this does not mean that those previous studies failed, but rather it shows us the difficulty of the study and the depth of its details, as the human mind still resembles a large, very dark room. Every study illuminates for us a part that does not represent one of the millions of parts inside that room, even if there are many. Sometimes a strong study is presented on this subject, and it may last for years. Then another study comes along that contradicts and clarifies the errors in that study and builds a new study. Thus, the study of the human mind represents the most difficult studies known to scientific research throughout its great and enormous history with regard to this subject, as it was presented to us. Previous studies are a good legacy that we can navigate through with great care. Studies of the human mind have contributed to tremendous development in various fields of life such as economics, sociology, psychology, natural sciences, and sports sciences. However, sports sciences, especially football training, have noticeably lacked recently in the efforts of studies. Research that can provide explanations and results becomes scientific theories through which we can develop players' mental abilities and thus develop basic and individual skills and tactical performance, as most athletes in the field of football training are interested in developing physical aspects, the results of which have appeared clearly in recent years and which can be observed by the viewer who follows football matches. From the period of the 90s until now, this viewer can also notice the skill sterility, whether at the level of basic skills or individual skills, which has occurred recently as a result of neglecting the development of the skill. Contents. Chapter 1, Quick Thinking. Chapter 2, Slow Thinking. Chapter 3, The Relationship between fast and slow thinking. Chapter 4, Developing the slow thinking abilities of football players Atentio. Chapter 5, Developing the slow thinking abilities of football players mental effort. Keys to drawing exercises. Pass the ball yellow arrow. Player running without ball black arrow. Player running with the ball white arrow. Player's position without the ball. The player's focus on the ball. Player's shirt numbers and ball's cones. Chapter 1. Fast Thinking. Introduction. Before starting to talk about quick thinking, we must define the human mind so that we can understand its functions well. Here we present a group of concepts that scientists have studied and analyzed. Psychologists define the mind as the total sum of conscious and unconscious mental processes. The human mind is the symbol of human thinking and the mechanism by which mental processes are attributed. It is clear from the previous definitions that a person has only one mind, except that this mind has two functions that are different from each other, as each of them has different functions and characteristics from the other. Over the course of previous studies that focused on studying the human mind, scientists did not differ much in the essence of the two functions that the mind was assigned to. As studies they are very similar in what they discussed regarding the characteristics and functions of each, and the difference arises in the names of each without affecting the essence of the study, as those names were used to differentiate between the two functions, and among those names are the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, the awake mind and the sleeping mind, the voluntary mind and the voluntary mind. Involuntary thinking, fast thinking and slow thinking, and since the purpose of this book is to describe and develop the two functions of the mind in the field of football, which is one of the most important popular sports in the majority of countries in the world, and has even become part of the economy of some countries, especially Brazil and Argentina, and the great financial returns that return to those countries. In parallel with the professionalism of its children in the majority of international leagues, I therefore prefer the term fast thinking and slow thinking to describe the mental functions of athletes in football, as these terms are the best due to their closeness and description of what happens in football in terms of fast and slow decisions, movements and running on the field during training and local and international competitions. I do not hide news from you, dear reader. When I turned my attention to studying this topic and began researching and reviewing many different studies, I did not find an introduction that explained and described the importance of studying the functions of the mind better than the one presented by Dr. Joseph Murphy. He likened the human mind to a garden, and throughout the day you sow seeds, ideas, in rapid thinking, and most of the time this is without your awareness, because these seeds are based on your habitual thinking, and through it, the harvest of those seeds, ideas, will be in your entire mental, psychological, social, and health life, etc. Therefore, quick thinking is fertile soil in which all seeds grow, no matter how good or bad they are. He is not aware of what you give him, but he retains and strengthens what you give him. Therefore, if you sow thorns, you will not reap roses or fruits, since if you plant positive and correct thoughts and strengthen them in a way that suits the capabilities of quick thinking, and the training is done. It is done well in proportion to the capabilities of that fast thinking. The result will be good in any case and under any circumstances of training and competition. The end of the plot is that the relationship between fast and slow thinking is a direct relationship, as the better your conscious abilities, slow thinking, are in choosing what is appropriate. One of the thoughts that comes to him during training and competition. The outcome of quick thinking will be more efficient and positive in issuing appropriate responses to each of the different playing situations. The concept of quick thinking. The concept of quick thinking, it is a storage room for everything that passes through the mind that no longer exists in the mind. Conscious thinking, slow thinking, which includes all decisions related to the individual's previous experiences, beliefs, memories, and all the situations he experiences and the images he sees in his life. Another concept of fast thinking.